According to research, this is one of the most difficult exercises to administer. Naturally, people take time to build trust with each other. I talked about my basketball team. Trying to get the team members to trust each other may be a hard task, but it is achievable. Trusting each other cements the relationship between the team. This helps them to work with each other well. It also makes an individual gain some sense of responsibility. Now, once again, there are different exercises that can be used to build trust and to build interdependence. For instance, there is one exercise whereby the team players line up in 2 rows. The people on the first row normally have their backs to the others on the second row. Now, without turning back, they are required to fall back, letting their guard down. They should be able to trust that the team member standing behind them will catch them. Once again, I personally hate this exercise. I'm a little over 6 feet tall and clock in at about 210 pounds. There are usually very few people on a team I would feel confident in their ability to catch me, let alone hold me from falling to the floor. Now, I've also been teamed with a female team member. Now, I ask you, where am I going to grab them safely so I don't end up in front of the HR director the next day? When consulting with a company, I like to take a different approach to trust building with the teams. I approach this with the attitude that unless it has already been broken, everyone on the team has a certain amount of trust already. It may be small, but it is there, so let's just build on that. So I'm going to give you 7 trust-building characteristics all team members must have. First one is be humble. When I was in the military, we were taught that leaders should never admit they are wrong. But when we approach our leadership with a posture of humility, we prove to ourselves and to others that this is a safe space to make mistakes and grow together. Humility also shows your human nature. Employees appreciate and admire human and authentic leaders. Next one, take accountability. Culture change comes from the top. Owning up to where you've been and then remaining accountable going forward is important for building trust. Build safeguards and accountability structures to make sure you continue to remain on the course towards this trust. Learn from mistakes and put in place measures to avoid making them again. The next one's so important. Communicate. Evaluate how much you can share with your teammates and then establish processes so that your team is regularly informed about progress updates and other pertinent data. Another one, quickly embrace conflict. Even in the most high-trust organizations, conflict still occurs. Learn to embrace conflict as it arises, rather than cowering away or letting it fester. Help your employees learn to use conflict as a way to promote trust between team members and departments. Never, ever ignore this huge elephant in the room. And the next one is be consistent. When actions and words are not aligned, the intentions of leaders can become hard to discern. Prove your commitment to building trust through your actions and decisions. If need be, have it all written down in poster size and kept on a wall in your team meeting room for all to see and for you to be reminded of. Now, some teams use a storyboard and assign a team member to keep information up to date on the board, consisting of goals, assignments, time frame, budgets, commitments from management, and so forth. Now, side note, I was consulting with an organization and we had been working on team building for weeks. The team leader was one of 2 partners in the business, and he found it very hard to be directed by a committee, as he put it. He was used to doing things his way, coming up with his own ideas and just dictating who would do what and when he expected it to be done. So, The storyboard was fast filling up with all the projects the team was involved with. Nothing was getting accomplished and frustrations were running high. I walked into the training room for our twice monthly meeting and found on the storyboard, written in very large letters covering the title of the storyboard, had been changed to "Tell Me a Story." The thing they were getting from their leader was a story that he wanted to have teams. He was undermining everything they tried to accomplish. He had lost their trust and proven that he could not be counted on. So, be careful when you're the leader. Now, the next falls right in line with that discussion. That is, stick with it. In an age where it's easy to call it quits, develop the stamina to see it through. It speaks volumes about your character and also what your organization values. Prove to yourself and others your commitment to making a change. The next one is follow-up. Unless trust has obviously been broken, it may be hard to know when you have a trust problem. In my example with the storyboard, because someone had the courage to speak up, we were able to avoid letting the problem get too big. You can do the same by frequently asking for feedback. You just need to make sure you follow up on the feedback. Ignore it at your own peril.